What's up, everybody? It's your boy Hercules back with another video. Today we're going to talk about signs of maturity. Signs that you've grown up and that you're actually a mature person now. And that if you don't exude these signs, then maybe you're not as mature as you think and that you should do some growing up. So the number one, we have I think eight. I think I have eight off the top of my head. So one sign is that you don't um, not that you don't, that you don't get excited by small talk anymore. And small talk is crucial, not crucial, but is inevitable. It's something we do every day. Something you engage in when you're going to the grocery store and you're talking to the cashier, or you're going to the clothing store, talking to the um, service partner. Whatever it is, small talk is normal, but it doesn't excite you anymore. So, people that are mature, you look at old people, they engage in a lot of times deep conversations with lots of stories, lots of meaning behind it, as opposed to the younger generation, which might not so much. I'm not saying become this old boomer that talks about old war stories and um, everything like that, but if you're to the point where small talk doesn't excite you anymore, you can still engage in it. Everyone has to, but it doesn't excite you anymore, and you actually long for like deep, real conversations. Then that's one sign of maturity that you've grown up actually. Another one is that you value sleep over a Friday night out. I'm not saying don't have fun, especially if you're a guy in your early 20s, mid 20s. You know, this is the time you're supposed to enjoy yourself, and you obviously can go out, have a good night out. But you also don't want to do that like consistently and too much of it. And so if you can get to the point where you enjoy a night out, but you also almost equally or even more so enjoy a good night's rest because you understand how important sleep is for your health and your well-being, then again, you've grown up, you've gotten smarter, you've understood how life works, and you understand that sleep is very important, very crucial. Another one is that you forgive more. It's a sign of maturity when you forgive more because it's more of an understanding thing. You understand, oh, they made a mistake. People make mistakes. You understand that holding a grudge doesn't help anyone, doesn't help the person you're holding a grudge against, doesn't help you. So when you forgive more and you're more easily gonna forgive someone, that's another sign of maturity. Obviously, you don't want to be like one of those people that just lets everything go. But when the lines do cross and the other side is sorry, then you need to forgive. You can't hold on to it. It doesn't help anyone in that scenario. Number four, I believe, is that you're more open-minded. And again, this doesn't mean you're a pushover and that you just accept any ideas. There's certain morals and boundaries I have that I will never let anyone cross. But there's also when you grow up and you understand, again, it's just an understanding thing that your brain has matured to understand other sides and to know that to have the humility to understand that you really know nothing. That you, out of all of the 8 billion people in the world, only know so little, and that you could be wrong, and that you're affected as much by your lifestyle and where you lived and who brought you up and who you hang around, and that affects your decisions a lot, and that you could very well be wrong. So you're more open-minded. You're at least willing to listen to other sides. At very least, listen to other sides, and to have the humility to know that you may be wrong, that you don't know everything. Number five is that you respect differences. So this kind of correlates to the other one. Just if you have differences, I like um, men who go to the gym. I like hanging around guys who are on self improvement, trying to better their lives. But I also have some friends who don't buy this self improvement stuff. They think it's kind of gay. They think it's kind of weird. Meditating and gratitude journaling. That's okay. I can respect that they see it that way and that they don't necessarily understand why it might help. Because when I first listened to the self improvement stuff, when I first My first video I watched Hamza, I was like, really? Is this guy crazy? But once I actually listened to his stuff and I realized that self improvement is awesome, you know. But again, I can see both sides of the coin and just respect other people's differences. Number six, we're gonna go. You're not judging people, and this is something I still very much struggle with. Deep down, I look at everyone else and almost in a bad way think like, oh, they're not thinking right. They don't live a life that should be to their best potential. Again, this is more of a understanding, a development of the mind to where you understand you don't have all the answers and that you're not perfect. Obviously, these people aren't too, but you understand that. So don't judge them for not being perfect when you're not perfect at all. Again, don't judge people. It doesn't help you, it doesn't help them, it doesn't help anyone. Just when you don't judge people, that's a sign of maturity. It's a sign that you've grown up and understood life. Number seven, we're going to say you accept pain and almost embrace pain. Because people who've grown up and lived life understand that with pain comes an opportunity for great happiness. So if you indulge in something very pleasurable, your dopamine goes up and then equally goes down. This is scientific, it's a fact. The same can be said with pain. If you experience something heartbreaking, if you have a girl that you liked, you had a girlfriend and she broke up with you, she broke your heart, you now have the opportunity to take that pain and go as much upwards and use it for good. So, example, this girl broke my heart about a year and a half ago. This is the last time I had a serious, actually, heartbreak. I was devastated, obviously. But what did I do? I finally used that pain. After tons of other heartbreaks in the past, I finally used that heartbreak not to bury myself down, but to think, okay, why did my heart get broken? And how can I use this to my advantage? And I started going to the gym. I started trying to better my life. Started working on side hustles. Started trying to make money. Started improving myself and understanding that I can use this for even a greater good. So I felt that heartbreak and it hurt. Trust me, it hurt. But maybe in a couple years from now, I'm going to be in terrific shape and having a lot of money. And that, out, in my opinion, would outweigh or at least equal the pain that I endured. So again, you accept pain and embrace it almost. That's another sign of maturity. And the last sign of maturity, number eight, we're going to go with your happiness is dependent only on you or things that you can control. Okay? So this is something that I still kind of struggle with. I have bad acne. I know you can't see because of the mask or the filter, whatever you want to call it. I want to get a mask someday, so if you have any good, cool mask ideas, leave it down in the comments. But anyway, I still struggle with. I have bad acne, and a lot of days when I have really bad acne, I wake up and it's like red all over the face, or I have a really big one. It can kind of upset me, and I start getting self-conscious. I don't want to go out as much, and again, it is something in my control, I guess you could say, because I'm trying to work on reducing it. I think it's totally health related, so I'm trying to eat better, trying to cut out dairy and stuff. But at the same time, I'm doing that already. So at this point, whatever happens to my face, I can't change that. I'm already going through the part of changing my diet and stuff. I can't change the fact that I wake up and I have bad acne. So I need to accept that. And again, I still struggle with this. I still struggle with sometimes when I go out and things happen in a certain way and it affects me. I let other people influence how I feel. And again, that's not a sign of maturity. A sign of maturity is you wake up happy every day, regardless of what other people think, regardless of what happens to you outside of your control. Everything you can only control what yourself, your mind, and everything else out of control shouldn't weigh you down because again, it's out of your control. You can't do anything about it. So when you reach the point where your happiness is solely dependent on yourself, I think you've reached ultimate maturity because that is very hard to do. And again, something I struggle with, something probably you struggle with. But again, if you can get to that point, I mean, that's amazing. Where your happiness is completely dependent on yourself. Think of that. Think of waking up every day happy because, or content because you're doing everything in your power to live a better life. That's beautiful, regardless of what other people say.